Welcome back, everyone, to RMFantasy SXperts round. What did we just do? 12.
Round 12.
In Seattle.
Yep.
Man, kind of crazy how this year's flying by. But anyway, I am Chase.
I'm Christian.
If this is your first time joining us, I want to give you a big welcome to everyone who has been following us each and every week. Shout out to everyone that supports the show. It's a nation.
The chat's going strong before we even start, dude.
I know, I love it. But if you don't know, we come to you live each and every week on Mondays and Thursdays at 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Monday show is to recap the race before, do some bench racing, and Thursday is all about stats to help you make your fantasy picks. Mm-hmm. It's a good time.
Supercross is crazy.
Been a great season, too. Probably one of the best seasons I could think of, really.
Yeah.
For fantasy.
All I know is that I got 3 picks right this weekend. When Barsha crashed, he went back to 5th. I had him in 5th. I got 3 picks right, and I had a few other guys off by 1. So I get like 70-something points. I moved up like 1 spot.
I was saying the exact same thing.
I didn't even budge.
I got 74 points, my best of the season. I moved like 1 spot.
I went and looked. Even like in our video group here at Rocky Mountain, I don't even think I moved up a spot when thinking like, oh, I had a killer weekend. I don't know. How many picks you say you got right?
I only got 2, but I got 74 points.
You got 2 picks right and got 74 points?
Yeah, I was hoping to. Well,
I got 3 picks right and got 77 points.
I'm trying to move up in some money pool groups, and it ain't happening.
Goodness. Anyway, I don't know who's feeling that. Who's feeling the same thing? He had a really good weekend, and then he just really didn't do any much as far as the meter goes.
I still went to bed happy. I'll tell you that. It might have been because it was so late. But
well, we do have a lot to talk about. It was. Actually, the main event, the 450s, was okay. You know, Barsha and some other guys had some stuff, but we do have a lot to talk about, so let's just jump right into it. Oh, by the way, tickets that we're giving away this week, Foxborough.
Oh, nice.
So if you live over there on the East Coast and you can make it to Foxborough for the race, remember to comment after this video in the comment section, not live, but in the comment section. Let us know if you can be there, how many tickets you would like, and then Rachel is actually the girl that goes through and selects those people, and she'll comment back to you on the YouTube. So make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you are notified if you do get selected for that.
That stadium, dude. I would love to go there someday.
Is that where Marv took out Tomac?
The one, no, I think that was East Rutherford.
That was East Rutherford?
I think it was East Rutherford.
Okay, fair enough.
There was some other people, though. We can get into the highlights throwing a finger at somebody.
Oh, my gosh, it was pretty good. Let's see. Krista moved up first in her money group, but only by 1 point. That's all that matters. Yeah. How much money is on the line? Let's see. Lucky 69 for me. Go Tomac.
I'm making a money group next year. No wives allowed.
Yeah?
Because they're just clean sweeping everything, dude.
She's doing you what Will Smith just did to Chris Rock, huh?
Pretty much all season.
Just slapping you across the face like that?
Every year. Yep.
Rough. All right. Nick, 601 total. That's pretty dang good, actually. All right, look. Here's our results up here on the table. Eli Tomac. What a beast.
Dude, if you ain't picking him, I don't know why.
I mean, he's already up by 50-something, 51 or 52 points, whatever it was, before the show even starts. I watched him in second qualifying. He about hole shots the thing. Mm-hmm. Comes out to his heat race. Kind of blew the turn, but about hole shots.
I
Comes out to the main.
Well, sorry. Somebody in here said that people quit crashing because they finally quit trying to keep up with him. He won by like 14 seconds, and
well,
that
not
makes
Barsha.
sense.
Barsha crashed trying to keep up with him.
Exactly. Like, stop trying to keep up with him, you'll stop crashing.
Well, I don't know.
Seems like.
But Anderson took second. Malcolm Stewart, that's not correct. What are you doing to me, Christian? Marvin Muscan got third.
Oh, my bad.
Malcolm got fourth, and Barsha
It's because it's backwards to us. I was trying to line it up
and
right.
then Starling holding it down for the Shane Wilkerson, our social media guy, he got Starling correct. And
Dude,
I'm like,
he did.
How did you pick Starling?
Scooty Puff called it. If you go back to our post last week, he said when Starling takes the wild card, he'll text him and thank him for all of us, and he did.
That's interesting.
Scooty
Okay.
Puff.
Striving and thriving.
I'm kind of curious. So we have Kristen B who's calling in a little bit later, but I guess we could talk about this right now just for a sec. Actually, let's do stats first. What do we
Player
got here?
stats?
Highest average score of the season. That's why we didn't move up.
Yeah, 57.5 points, 18 perfect scores, only 59 total perfect scores all season. 20% had at least 3 picks correct. You were one of them.
Yeah.
54% had at least 2 picks correct. 11% didn't get 1 pick right. So it was a good week. 3.25% of players got Starling in the wild card. Like we said, Scooty Puff called it. Tomac got 78% of the first place pick. I don't know why it's even that low. Only 15% had him in second. Over half the players had Stewart on their podium, and I'm starting to not put him there.
No, I don't care where he qualifies.
He's
where
fast. We want him there, but he's not getting there very often.
You just got to wonder how he hasn't at this point put it on top of the box.
Other riders are just doing better right now, in my opinion.
He looked horrible in the whoop section.
Something was off.
Something's off the bike.
Anderson was the most picked position in second, so a lot of points there. Barsha was picked in the top 5 by 79% of players. Marv was only picked by 52% of the players, top 5. Aquatic, you got to step your game up.
Jason here says he was one of the 11 percenters who didn't get a pick right.
Get more people picking Marv, dude. I put that all on Aquatic.
I had him in my top 5, just not in third.
I did too.
All right.
Webb's most picked position was 5th, so losing confidence in him. He had a rough crash. In qualifying, I didn't pick him after
and
that.
Sexton.
Yeah, we'll get into the Sexton thing. Bogle was the most picked rider for wild card at 30%. Then Wilson 16, Hartraff 15. Sexton was picked in the top 5 by 38% of players. That tells me make sure you're signing up for that calendar reminder.
Yeah.
Check the Twitter feed on our site. Whatever, Instagram, Facebook, make sure you're not picking riders that might crash out or have something bad happen in qualifying.
Yeah.
So
okay.
That's rider picks.
Interesting.
Or player picks.
All right. So let's talk about some highlights here real quick. So let's get into it. Let's show.
Lap chart?
Yeah. Do we have the lap chart? Show the lap chart. Okay. Boss man, Eli Tomac. That's how you do it right there. What's crazy is that Barsha had that big of a crash and only lost 3 positions to those guys.
I thought he'd lose a lot more too.
Webb, who started basically, if you look at the whole shot, Webb was literally dead last coming across the line. So he actually did ride really, really well to get all the way up to 6th place, even with his bad crash.
Dude,
Dino?
to Wilson. You're about to say Wilson, Bogle, Oldenburg.
Yeah.
Doing good.
I mean, now
Yeah,
that
I had
some of those
Oldenburg
guys,
as a wild card, and
Did ya?
that did not play out.
now that some of those guys are beat up, like Frandis and all these other guys, you're getting
moves.
3 spots.
Chisholm comes back strong, even though he's banged up.
What I noticed with the lap chart is there's 7 different people that were in 12th at some point.
No kidding.
Well,
Look
I had
at Hartraff,
Clayson, dude. Clayson took us for a wild ride. Anybody that picked him through the heat, the LCQ.
Hartraff just making moves too.
Moran's barely making in there, taking 16th.
I don't know.
It was good.
It was good.
lap chart.
All right. Well, look. Let's get into some race highlights here. Oh, by the way, we're whitelisted now, folks. So yes, we can show the highlight clips from the race. So first things first. Let's talk about this. We had some drama between Sexton and Anderson in practice. Sexton had just messed up Anderson's lap. I don't think he did on purpose. Then Sexton comes in here, does this little brake check on Anderson, tries to just take out his wheel and take him down.
I like it.
And then karma just immediately sets in because what happens the next lap for Sexton? Well, this happens.
Dude, this was scary.
Ugh.
I did not like that.
No, and they had just started, right before he did this, they had just cut to him to show his hot lap. The scariest part was the bike landing back on top of
The
him.
scariest part was his neck just
Yeah.
moving that much. That was scary.
I guess what had happened, he was in second here coming out of that corner and accidentally put the bike in neutral in the air. So he lands, the bike's momentum stops, but he keeps going.
That's what it looks like.
Oh, gosh.
Because his feet just came right off the pegs. I thought, what the heck just happened here?
But I guess the real question is, like, with Sexton, how talented he is, does something like that not happen?
I don't care how young,
if he
how
doesn't
fit.
mess with Anderson right before.
Maybe he might have messed up his concentration, but I mean, how strong, young, good you are. I mean, you only have so many of those in you. I feel like I just don't like to see him crashing this much.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. All right, let's talk about Alex Martin having just a really bad get off in the whoop section.
Yeah, this one was gnarly.
He's trying to jump through the whoops. See, these are the ones where you get hurt bad. It's the sudden stop into the face of those. So that was at the end of the whoop section. So glad to see that he was actually up and made it through the LCQ. Mm-hmm. Do you know what the ORW, whatever stands for, in his butt patch?
No, I didn't even notice it.
He's always wearing that. Is it DRW? Josh, do you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what it's referencing.
I'm curious.
The research thing.
Anyway, all right, here's probably 2 weekends in a row we've had fights in heat races.
I'm down with the fight.
So this is Blackbird and Sanford.
This was a real fight.
Yeah, see, that's what I'd say. That's a fight.
Yeah.
And then knee to the body.
I mean, he's going hard at him. I'd like to see Sanford fight back a little bit more.
Here's the real question. Hey, I want you guys to comment right now, too. I don't know who that guy is on the Kawasaki.
He's watching it.
He's got a Kickstarter. That bike is a 2020 or older model.
Yeah.
It's 2 years old. And then when all this drama goes down, there's a good meme about it.
It's taking a gander
he's
at
just,
it.
He's just watching this fight break out.
Why not, dude?
It's just like weird because when that was happening, I was just like, why is there a guy kickstarting his motorcycle behind them? It's not a Suzuki.
Well, when they went to the replay, I thought he was going to get cleaned out, but old boy just came in there like a dart and took him out.
Oh.
I'm just saying, you got to stand up for yourself, whether it's your fault or not. Don't take that type of beating, man.
Well, and I don't know because that clean out, he probably was like, I kind of deserve this. I mean, that takeout wasn't even for a transfer spot.
Deserve it or not, someone starts doing that to me, there's going to be repercussions.
We need to go back to that when Barsha kicked over Mookie's bike and the karate kick.
Oh my gosh, that was crazy. Who said we need to give out gift cards for the top 10,000? Now you're just getting greedy. It was Record Fish Hunter. Come on now.
To the top 10,000, we ain't no socialist fantasy. No participation trophies. Sorry.
All right. That's not free, everyone. All right, here we go. Alex, all right.
Everything is free.
Okay, here's the thing, and I have this as one of the things we got to talk about. I was kind of bummed out about Christian Craig's attitude after the main event for the 250s. Here's the pass that Mosman put on him.
I didn't think it was that bad.
From that angle, you're looking like, okay, like, sure, like he got taken down, but there's another angle that they show right here. Mosman comes in.
He came in hot, but he gave him room.
Yeah, but his rear wheel slid out a little bit and caught Craig off guard.
Yeah.
But that's not dirty. It's aggressive. But you're racing for the lead. You've got Craig out in front of you.
Everybody wants to give Ricky, dude, a hard time every time he messes anything up.
Yeah.
Which I'm against. But he called it. He's like, Mosman's going to come in hot. He's going to do something to you. Just let him by.
Well, yeah.
And then right on cue, dude.
As soon as he says that.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I don't agree that like Craig should have just let him by, but I just.
They should have expected something. Let him by, then hang with him, make a pass later.
He said on the podium, like, I've been taken out 3 times now, and I'm like, that wasn't a takeout.
Well, and Mosman's not going to do something dirty on purpose. Plus, in the podium interviews after race, the post-race, Craig said he was just kind of heated. He understands he's not mad anymore. So
okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not too mad about it.
Not too mad about it. Well, I just hope. I just saying if you're Christian Craig, that's not helping you gain any fans. Yeah. Just because the vast majority are going to look and be like, don't do that.
You're so heated and emotional, your heart rate's up, adrenaline after the race, and then they stick a microphone in your face. You're going to say crazy things once in a while.
Yeah,
I gave him a free pass on it. I'm more mad Mosman didn't win because I wanted him to win that round.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even think we need to do a poll on it just because of that. But speaking of polls, speaking of questions, we've got her on the phone right now. She is there on Race Day Live, hanging out with the crew. We've got Kristen Beat on the phone right now, actually via Zoom. Kristen, how are we doing?
class. We're like, I would consider it spring break. We have like a nice. So, yeah, just enjoying the first day of spring break.
Nice.
Yeah. So what do the announcers do on the off weeks?
For me, I'm in Phoenix for spring training. So we are right outside of the airport at a little hotel. I don't know if you guys follow baseball much, but the lockout kind of prevented me and Cole from knowing when the season would start or not start, and finally it started. And so we're basing out of a hotel this year just because it's an abbreviated spring training. So back to another hotel. I haven't this year, so let's just keep it going.
I like it.
Hey, so we were just talking about the Craig. Did you interview Craig after his after the main event on Saturday?
You know, I didn't. However, I was standing trackside, and I'm really close to his mechanic, Brent Duffy. And it was contentious, to say the least, between him and Moseman. And, there was really nothing going on between him and Hunter. But even with Shimoda, when he pulled off track, TV caught it. But Shimoda pulled off track and extended his arm to shake Moseman's hand, but it was also contentious. There was just a lot going on, and I don't know. I haven't gotten a chance to watch the TV broadcast back, but just from what I saw on the track in those final laps, obviously, really disappointing for Joe Shimoda. You know, it's like he's this close to kind of finally, after that injury and coming back and having his dad in town, he extended his hand to kind of shake Moseman's, and Moseman at first was like, "Why are you shaking my hand? Like, I just clearly smacked you in the face. I Will Smith to you." And however, Joe Shimoda put it out again, "Hey, no, we're going to shake hands," and rolled off. But you could tell it was almost, I don't want to say sarcastic, because that's, I don't want to imply anything that I don't know, but it felt that way. It was very contentious after the 250 main for sure.
That's weird.
Yeah, their feelings.
I've watched it back. We just showed the replay in slow-mo of Moseman passing Craig, and Craig said on the podium, "I've been taken out 3 times this year," and he just had that sour face, and I'm just like, I don't think you have a reason to be very sour right here. The pass looked clean, and I just said I don't think Craig's doing himself any favors by.
Well, but here's the thing too. I think that when you leave the door open, you have to expect that people are going to race you the way that they would. It's an advantageous situation. Moseman's an opportunist. Whenever there's an opportunity for him to move forward, as most racers are, he's going to whichever way he can, even if that means putting a little more pressure, getting a little closer than Christian Craig, as Christian Craig may have wanted. But here's my argument too. Okay, so obviously Christian Craig has the speed, the acumen to be able to work through the pack. That's at the end of that night, I think Craig should have been more pleased with himself than he was, because it was another opportunity for him to just mentally flex on the field, right?
Yeah.
Take a guy out and then he can come right back around and be right there. I mean, that has to play a number on some of those guys mentally.
Sure. And I think Craig has just been so dominant that when he doesn't win, he probably just thinks I have zero excuses to not win every main event at this point. But yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of interesting, but that was one thing we were talking about. And then also we want to ask you, what are your thoughts on this? So Eli Tomac, we're going to discuss this a little bit more. He's 29 years old. He's got 2 kids. You could arguably say this is the best Eli Tomac that we've ever seen. Where would you say, of all the years you've been following Supercross, this season ranks in just all-time best? It's not over yet. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. But where would you say this ranks, say, all-time as far as best Supercross seasons?
See, I don't think this is one of our best Supercross seasons, just because the parity we saw early in the season was really inspiring and encouraging. But halfway through the season, with the atrophy, a lot of riders pulling out, injuries coming into play. And I think part of that is just the technicality of the tracks is just it was increasingly discouraging for a while, right?
Right.
The track, just walking through the whoops were gnarly, and we lost a lot of really good guys. And so I think where I would have wanted to see the parity progress, it didn't. So yeah, I mean, it's not the most impressive Supercross season that we've seen, but at the same time, we have guys I made this argument that I think the talent and the depth of talent is so much deeper than it's ever been in the sport before. I mean, we can tell by the qualifying times being so close compared to years past, where 1 through 10 in qualifying was nearly 4 seconds apart. Nowadays, 1 through 10 is less than a second apart. So there's still a lot of talented guys that Eli's having to work around every single weekend.
Sure.
Think about it. When Eli turns his head, he has Jason Anderson, a former champion, right behind him. He has Cooper Webb, a former champion, right behind him. But again, injuries, atrophy. This season hasn't been what I thought it would be. But I don't take that away from Eli, because every night that he's out there, he's not winning by a little bit. Like, he's just, crushing the field. So the season isn't what I would have hoped for, but I still think that Eli is just light years beyond anyone else right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was asking, is like the season, no doubt, the parity, it's we got this massive point gap, but what I was kind of referring to is like for individually for Eli Tomac with what he's doing this year.
Like, is it a legendary season?
I'm just saying, like, I rank this among like one of probably the
riders.
most standout Supercross seasons a single rider has had, where you're just, he just won 5 in a row. He hadn't done that since 2017. He's won over he's won 7 out of 12 races, and he's just dominating. So that's what I look at as like, this is to me, like, since I've followed the sport, this is probably the most impressive season I've ever seen any rider have, regardless of who's out.
This to me, like, reminds me of old time Carmichael, old time McGrath era style riding, where just no one can touch him. And there are good guys in the field. Yeah, I think it's one of the best season, like, yeah, you're right, but it's hard to kind of word that, but like, it's the most impressive season a rider's had in a very long time. Because even sometimes when you think back and like, you think back to like Dunge winning all that he won, and even like the championships that Anderson and those guys won. Cooper said it this way actually this past week, and he's like, I believe when it's your year, it's your year, but we haven't Cooper have such a dominant year as Eli's had this year. So just everything's clicking for him right now. It's incredibly impressive.
Yeah. Are you surprised at Malcolm Stewart with how many times he's qualified first, winning heat races, that he hasn't clicked one off yet?
I lose money every weekend. Because we throw a few dollars down with some of the track flagger crew, so they always like come up and we'll like throw dollars in, whatever. So every single weekend I'm waiting for Malcolm to have that moment. But I think too, like, that at this point, he has the speed. He's incredibly fit. I just don't know what, and that's a question for him. Like, what is missing right now in his program? Like, is that a mental thing? Like, is it a mental block? Is it I don't see it as being even a conditioning thing, because the dude is like, an incredible shape. Alvin has whipped him into shape like so well. Like, that dude is flexing, and it's like no one can touch him. Like, he's in the best conditioning of his life, probably. I wish that I could get in, like, I wish I could get into that mental state where you just like flip the switch and you're like, boom, I'm there. Like, I am well conditioned. But yeah. Have
any of the riders talked to you about tracks this year? I know it's, the whoops have been built differently from what I understand. Instead of, I don't know if it's the loader or the dozer that they're using to build them, but we haven't seen really any jump lines working very well in the whoop sections this year. And it feels like we've been seeing guys crashing a lot. I don't know if it's necessarily the tracks or the guys just pushing a little bit harder, but is that something that you've been hearing?
I've heard a lot of frustration from the riders just from the intensity of the tracks that they're building. So sometimes on tracks, they create portions of the track that slow down the riders a little bit. Like, there'll be like an awkward roller that forces the riders to like pull it back a little bit. There hasn't been much of that this year. And so unfortunately, like, the guys are just going so fast. And like, you won't hear Christian Craig complain about the whoops from like a top 5 guy or like a 5 through 10 sort of guy. They're gnarly, and like, you can't see it from home. But and even compared to arena cross whoops, like back when Feld used to do arena cross, the whoops were gnarly, but they weren't anything like what I've seen this year. Like, anything so much deeper. And like, it's the way that some of these softer tracks deteriorate, right? Like, they have the softer sand and some of the bases are funky. When you get whoops that big and they're so inconsistent with how they deteriorate, it's just super sketchy. And like, but that's part of the sport, right? Like, I'm not complaining about the tracks by any means. The track crew does a great job. Like, they work really hard. That's just something that I think requires the riders to be so much more focused and like so much more on their game. And I've talked to the guys about that. And like, some of the, the guys like Christian are amped on it, because for them, that's where they thrive. Like, they are just so good and laser focused, and they're good in those sections. So it allows them to separate themselves. For other guys, it's definitely a little sketchy.
The only thing that I think of looking at it that I wished maybe was a little bit different is not having tracks, and I think this would probably help out quite a bit, is not having tracks that are low 40-second lap times. I don't know if they can look at these stadiums and think, okay, how can we add on? Trying to add 5 seconds onto a stadium or onto a track, when you're given a specific layout, is going to be extremely difficult. But Do you think making longer lap times would have any impact on that for the night show?
I don't know. Well, no. No matter what, it wouldn't impact the night show because we race on time basis, right? So we got the 20 minutes plus 2 laps, whatever it is. So like, it won't impact the night show at all. It just would impact the racing. We have to I haven't really studied how the longer lap times affect the racing. I personally love Daytona, and that's a really long lap time track, and it's really long lap time racing. I love outdoors. I'm weird like that. So when I watch from home, I think those races are always super fun to follow. I like to see the riders' conditioning on display, and sometimes in Supercross, there's so much airtime, which allows the riders to sort of recoup. We don't see that as often. For the most part, all of these guys in the top 10 should be able to go and run out the night program, run their 22-minute main event, and not even break a sweat. They're in such good condition that doesn't tax them as much. Whereas when they go outdoors, that's when we see conditioning come into play. So yeah, I enjoy watching the races like Daytona more, where we see the longer lap times. I don't know if it would do anything for the parity in this season, or it would, allow other guys to win. But when we do look at some of those tracks with longer lap times, like last year, we see guys like Thrasher and guys, at least in the 250 class, really be able to showcase a different skill set. So that might, in some ways, make it more interesting to follow. But yeah, I don't know enough about the tracks. And
I just wonder, what do you think, Christian?
I like longer lap times. I mean, Tomac lapped up to 6th place.
But what I look at is if you can shave off, say, 4 or 5 laps for both the 450s and the 250s, well, you might think, well, that's only 4 or 5 laps, but that's 4 or 5 laps, so you'd have 20 less guys coming across those whoop sections, and you times that, 20 guys times 5, so that's 200 sets of tires per race that aren't coming through that whoop section, basically. That's kind of how I look at it. So I wonder if that would help not let the track break down so much.
Yeah. Martin, that's a good way to look at it. And I think too, looking at just the way that some of the tracks are built, I've always really liked the baseball stadium tracks. The football stadium tracks just seem really long and not long as in lap time, but boom, 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 across. And it's not as interesting. There are no crossovers last weekend in Seattle. I think that, there's just little things that I think make the racing a little more interesting, fun to watch the riders. But yeah, I mean, it kind of, at this point, when you look at the track design and the layout and the lappers and how that all comes into play, it reminds me a little bit of weekends. So I've got 20 different alarms going off. We've got go to American Flat Track next weekend again, and we're back and forth. And I've got some calls and stuff, but they can wait. But yeah, I mean, I think it was Indy. I was out for that one, but when I went back and watched it, it felt like an arena cross race because the lap times were so quick, and I didn't love watching the Supercross guys on it. It wasn't as fun as I thought it would be.
Interesting. All right. Well, look, we're headed into. I'm spacing out the next race. We got a break this weekend.
St. Louis.
St. Louis. Thank you.
Triple Crown.
Oh. All right. Well, hey. Say that one more time.
You guys like the Triple Crowns?
I love Triple Crowns.
I from a fans' perspective, I do. So I was at Phoenix, so I got to watch that race live, and I just love the fact that I got to watch Tomac and all the top guys come out 3 times. And I think for the fans, there's a couple people there that it was their first Supercross race, and they loved getting to see, the top guys come out 3 different times. I understand from the rider's perspective. I can see it on both ends, but
I know they don't like it, but I love it because every position matters every main. If you're in 5th in one main, you got them. If you can make 1 or 2 passes, that's huge. Where if you're in a heat and you're in 4th or 5th, a lot of riders are just going to cruise it in. You know what I mean? That's why I like the Triple Crowns.
What about you, Kristen?
Hate them. Absolutely hate them. I thought you guys would be.
Well, okay.
I don't love them. Well, okay, maybe I should say I don't love them. It's not that I hate them. Racing's racing, and I'll take it. But I don't like the format. I don't like how quick it is. Personally, to me, because I like telling stories, right? The riders are so pressed for time in between each main event, and they're so in a hurry to get back to their their pit, and it just feels very rushed. I don't like that program. Just personally, I don't. I would love to see a 40-minute main event, and you know what I mean? Qualifying to the heats during the day, and then just have a nice 40-minute main event. But I just don't like the Triple Crowns. It feels very rushed to me and compact, and I don't know. It doesn't allow a lot of time for the TV side and for race day live and all that kind of storytelling. I don't love it, but I don't know.
40-minute.
But yeah, this is a Triple Crown. Yay.
I could see it being stressful for you guys, no doubt.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of interviews with the riders, and some say they like it, some say they don't. If you have, success at it like Tomac has, you probably love the things. I don't know.
Well, and it's like, so perfect example. Our last Triple Crown, one of the guys completely like dodged our interview and rolled back to the paddock. And this was like during the night show, which you guys don't get to see, but we still do live there. And sending someone a voicemail real quick. Sorry. Yeah, okay, we're good. But anyway, so it was Cooper Webb. Cooper Webb like bolted back to his pit, and then he comes back in. I'm like, hey, did I offend you? Like, did we do something wrong? Like, you didn't stop at the step and repeat. He's like, no, I had to get back to my pit. And he said, like, we literally, because sometimes in these arenas, I think the last one was Texas, it's like a dash down the road to get back to the paddock in the pit. And so, we just don't get as much time. We don't get to do as much storytelling. And if you're a rider, like having to function in that parameter, I think would be really stressful.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Right. Yeah. St. Louis next, guys.
Kristen's favorite race of the year, the Triple Crowns. All right. I'll remember that. Are you going to be, I'll be in Atlanta. So I'm looking forward to that one because that'll be the first East-West showdown.
Oh, I'm stoked. Like I'm so excited for that race because not only are we seeing East meets West, I'm so excited for the Christian Craig Hunter Lawrence showdown. That's going to be so good. But also another big track. That'll be a really nice layout. If they I'm excited to see what they do. I haven't looked at the track maps. I know there's somewhere online. I can go look at those. But Atlanta in years past, I love clay races. This is going to be bad. It's going to be very awesome.
Do you think, though, with Craig and Lawrence has a much smaller points lead than Craig does. Craig can just kind of ride this thing home. Do you think there's any, wanting to show everyone who the best guy is on a 250?
I don't know about that. I don't think Christian Craig actually gives AF. I think he's 100% just like, I want to prove to everyone that I deserve a 450 ride for next year. And I think if he can... I think if he can put himself in a position to showcase that, which would be, it's a great opportunity because there's a lot of people who are like, well, the 250 West class is anemic. There aren't any good guys. And when you start looking at the opportunities for next year for a 450, there's a few very valuable seats that I think are going to be open next year. And this is just speculation, but I see there being two very good openings that Christian Craig could easily slide into, but now he has to prove himself. We had a conference call with Jensen last week, Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha. And I asked him, I was like, hey, is a championship enough for Christian to prove that he deserves a 450 ride? And he goes, well, I can only speak for our team, but championships aren't enough anymore. Mm-hmm. Like it's just win a championship to provide yourself an opportunity for the next year, especially in the premier class. So Christian still has some minds to change. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And just response from Jensen told me a lot, right? So they need to support him. And I think the East-West Showdown is a really good opportunity, not just to see if you can, beat Hunter or to beat Jett. Obviously that would be great, but I think mentally, how does he handle the first situation where he knows he's going to have to rise to the occasion? I think that's a big ask too. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him to be the guy at this shootout. How does he manage all of that? I'm interested to see that side of it.
Yeah, no, I would love for nothing more because Christian and Jett have just been, a step above the rest. Moseman was on rails this last weekend, but Craig and Jett have just been by far the better guys. And if they go 1-2 off the start, that would be, and they're both incredible starters. So I feel like there's a very good chance that happens.
I want Craig to win big time just because of what happened in Salt Lake last year. Where he had it basically locked down and then has an injury and doesn't get to race.
His sour face left a sour taste in my mouth.
I mean, to make up for that and get the championship, I'm sure that's all he cares about, not beating Jett. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's where I would be on it.
All right, Kristen, we do it every week. We're going to do it with you. Coming up, give us your picks. Give us a Triple Crown. This is going to be tough. But if you had to make your picks today, give us your top 5.
Top 5. I had to make my picks today going into St. Louis. Who's the wild card? Who will be the wild card in St. Louis?
Well, the wild card is 14th place, which right now with how things are could be it's tough because there's a lot of guys are injured. So Justin Starling just got 12th for the wild card.
Amart took it last round.
Amart got 14th last round.
Alex Ray for the wild card.
Okay.
That's optimistic, isn't it?
He's got to make A-Ray will make the night show probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
and this is St. Louis. I don't know. So, or maybe I'll go Kate Clayson. Or Brandon Hartranft. No, let's go Hartranft.
So you're saying let's go Brandon Hartranft. Okay.
I didn't do that.
I mean, not.
I got to walk the line on these things. Looks like computer very strict. Okay, let's see. Top 5. I think Eli's unstoppable this year. I'd be silly to bet against him. I think Malcolm second, because I think he's going to be so close enough, but then just disappoint me and I'm going to lose money on it. I'll still bet on it. I wouldn't bet against Malcolm, but yeah. So Malcolm second. I think third, I'm going to go with Cooper, just because, again, they're like the quicker. So I don't think the injury is going to come into play as much at a Triple Crown. He's going to be able to go out there, run a sprint, and come back and not have the injuries hurt him as much. I think fourth, Jason Anderson. And I think fifth, Justin Barcia.
Okay. I like it. Well, you're getting a lot of love in the chat. Everyone says you do a great job. I agree. I think you do awesome every week. I like seeing your guys' picks at the end of Race Day Live. I'm always cracking up watching.
Yeah, you were way too hard on yourself at the beginning of the year, by the way. We were talking about that.
Aww.
But hey.
Yeah. I went home and I cried a little bit, just frustrated. You know, you get nervous and there's a lot of stuff going on too. And I think you guys have talked with like Zach and like a lot of those guys too. It's just, coming from like not being a TV person per se and being like more of just a racing person, being now all good. It's like, I remember even before the first Race Day Live, I was so nervous. And now I go into Race Day Live and like, I would like, on the first few shows, I wouldn't even like go out to dinner with friends. I wouldn't do anything. I was like studying with my notebook, like taking notes. Now, like the night before, I'm like out having drinks with friends and I'll go in and be fine and like not study as much. You're just more comfortable. You're not trying to impress anybody. And I think that was the difference between me earlier in the year, like putting so much pressure on myself, trying to impress people. And I would go on Vital and people would just like absolutely destroy me. And now I'm like, whatever. Like those dudes are in their basements. Like
exactly. Brush those haters off.
Fair enough. Well, hey, we think you're doing a spectacular job. So keep up the good work. Again, congratulations on everything that you got going on. Looks like you could take a shower now after you're doing spin bike class. But we appreciate you taking the time to do this call. We always have a good time talking to you. And we'll see how your picks stack up in 2 weeks at your favorite Triple Crown format in St. Louis.
So excited. Thanks for having me on, guys. I miss you guys. And hey, in Atlanta, come hang out with us. You're going to be on Race Day Live, right? I
will. So we're going to have to figure out how we're going to talk to each other. But yes, let's come do something. Let's do something fun.
Or just come on the floor with us. We can like call a few rounds and talk to the riders. It'll be fun.
Yes. Let's talk to Deidre, whoever, to get me down on the floor. My creds don't get me down there. So let's work this out.
I take care. You can come down and hang out with us and we'll have some fun. Maybe we could do like a faux fantasy for the 250 class because I think that'll be fun too.
I would love that.
Yeah, cool. Okay, I'll see you guys.
All right, talk to you soon.
See ya.
Okay, bye.
So I don't understand people giving her a hard time. She knows more about this sport than anybody.
She is very knowledgeable. She doesn't just show up to do it. Like she loves dirt biking.
She's into it.
She loves it. All right, so who was arguing with me about this? Someone said I was high. Chaz the Spaz said I was high because I said I think Craig has more raw speed right now than Jett Lawrence.
That's a good
we'll
question,
get into
honestly,
it. We got a lot of time. We got a few rounds before we go to
straight up one-on-one?
Straight up one-on-one.
I would go Craig every day.
I think he has more raw speed this year, Josh.
It's hard to say. I think I would agree. It's going to be close, though. It's interesting just the championship layout. I think that's what's going to change it. I like Kristen's point on there as well of like him trying to prove more than just speed, but just like, does he manage championship or does he manage winning?
I think what they should do is let everybody race and then just save Jett and Craig and let them just do their own gate drop
like
for like a
10-minute
main. Yeah.
Yeah, those
like
are fun to watch.
pole position. But anyway.
I like it.
Hey, someone in the chat mentioned having everyone race like the same bike. And I wonder how that would play out as well. That's an interesting idea. Like if they did a stock class or something.
Yeah.
I've heard people talk about like
suspension's so big and
a factory class and a privateer class.
Maybe if they're all like the same brand, same, it's got to be the same brand. Obviously, the suspension has to be a little bit different because you guys are different weights. But that's the only way you make it even, right?
I don't think it would ever happen, but it's interesting to think of.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. Well, that being said, we have
never
more
finished
highlights?
the highlights.
Yeah.
actually,
What do we need here?
Let's go back. So we had
Okay.
just talked about the Craig crash.
Yeah.
Kristen talked about this a little bit, but this is the last lap with Shimoda and Mosman. So Shimoda gets past him on the last lap and then messes up in the whoops, and then almost gets him back on the last turn.
So what Beat was saying, another guy just hanging out, is that Shimoda went to shake his hand after, and it was salty. Like Mosman was being salty?
That's what I was getting out of it.
Okay. Well, I mean, they're just going for it. I don't know. Interesting.
Maybe there's more to it.
I forgot all about that part, though. Yeah, they were going for it.
Yeah, and then the 450 start, just Tomac's a gangster right here. He wheelies basically all the way down the start right here and just gets on the brakes so hard.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I'm not doing it twice. Rips a whole shot, dude. Wire
That's
to wire.
crazy.
Ends up winning by 15 or 20 seconds. That's pretty freaking impressive.
Oh, yeah.
What about the Barsha crash, though, in the main event? Went to seat bounce out of here. Cross ruts. Jumps off the track. This is like a Dean Wilson thing in Arlington.
Oh, it's like they said. He's lucky he crashed at the top of the jump.
Oh, yeah. He missed that. Yeah, he
missed
was
the
a
face.
foot away from breaking collarbone,
Something.
shoulder blade, and everything in between.
Yeah.
Oh,
All I
my
know is
gosh.
this dude's riding like a man possessed.
That's got to be the worst feeling ever on a motorcycle when you know. But you know what? Here's the other thing I got to wonder. I know sponsors play a big role, obviously. If there's no tough blocks on that jump right there, he doesn't crash. He lands with a foot to spare on the side of the on-off.
Yeah, but I've seen it save a lot of people too. Moran's skied off a.
It saves you when you're already
tough block, too.
cartwheeling, but I've seen it bite a lot of riders too, so it's kind of interesting. Okay, well, fair enough. Anything else? No, I think that's the last highlight. What about Tomac, though? Where do you think? Poll question. Is Tomac's season, well, I guess it's hard to compare. Like, if you weren't around in the Carmichael, the McGrath era. But for you, since we've started fantasy, let's say, is this the best season you've ever seen out of any rider, just the most impressive start to finish far?
So far, I mean, in Dungey's heyday, you could pick him second or third every round, and you're just going to get points. Now you just throw him in first, and I've had him right like the last 3 or 4 rounds. So
yeah, we'll just have to look. I mean, he just won. I mean, 2017, Eli was dominant. He won 5 in a row, and you think there's no way this is going to ever happen again with this field, and he's doing it again right
If he
now.
breaks the record of locking it down early, that's the best season ever in my mind. I don't
What
care
is
what
the
anyone
record?
else did.
Villapota wrapped it up 2 rounds early once.
Something like that,
It was
yeah.
like 13 or 14.
If he wraps it up before that, it's the best season ever. It's not his fault. Everyone else did what they did.
Well, how many points up is he right now? Let's find out.
Like, nobody's
Ryder-
going to say he got given this. The dude's dominating in every way possible.
What's 281 minus 227? He's up 54 points.
That's huge, dude.
That's a lot of points.
And
Cow.
growing the last 5 rounds.
I know.
While everyone else seems to be having issues. So.
And that's what's so impressive. He's just, everyone's crashing except for Eli Tomac.
I
hope
like
I
the
don't jinx the
whole
man.
question of, is everyone crashing and having a hard time because they're trying to keep up with him? And the more I think about it, I think that's what it is.
I don't know.
And nobody can.
I don't know. 450 class is so much deeper in 2022. Well, it was until everyone crashed out. But anyway, that's all I got. I think it's legendary what Eli Tomac is doing. I really hope we can get that man on the show
That'd be sweet.
before the year is over, because it's pretty freaking impressive what he's been able to do. Just a happier man. Happy life.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is there anything else? Remember, we didn't show any memes.
Yeah, dude, we can't forget the memes.
Oh, my
Memes
gosh.
loaded up?
Remember, Foxborough tickets comment after this video's over. Yeah, let's get some memes up here.
You guys cracked me up on this one. Literally, I was like crying with tears on some of these after I saw them and like really looked at them, and they were crazy.
Moran's after this save.
Yeah, that's a save from
That's
last
like
week.
my favorite show of all time, too, The Wire.
I'll have to go back and rewatch. I'm trying to think
Dude,
of
it's
the
such a
save
good
of my
show.
life.
This one cracks me up. You guys are killing us.
The more they tell us that's what we say, I'm just going to say
On the
even
phone, the
more.
random razor. Do I say? What
On
did
the
I
phone
say
with the
there?
random racer. Such a good dude. Oh, you're ripping starts. And
I'm going to say the funniest part is the middle. Mona Lisa chilling with the
With some pit vipes on or
some
something.
lenses on there, dude. I like that.
this was me this weekend.
I felt like the nation was pretty happy, though, with the points up. Everybody
yeah,
did
it's
good.
the best average points.
I mean, it sucks when you go to bed, you didn't get one pick right.
Yeah,
So-
I got Tomac right, and then my second through fifth were all one off. So it was a good trick.
That's the one-off-itis.
Yeah. Okay, what's next? Yes.
This one's so good.
I didn't even make that one. It's
That's funny, but he made it right in the after race interview.
It was freaking funny, though.
This one was good. Why wouldn't you watch that?
Just stop and enjoy the little things.
Yeah, because he couldn't kick his motorcycle over. I guess someone said it was a local from up in the Northwest.
I added this for Christian because he loves the
Dude, I love
wrestling.
WWE. It's WrestleMania this weekend, boys.
Oh, my gosh.
Get ready.
How-
Stone Cold's
how-
coming back.
How can you watch that
I
stuff?
love that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Topical.
Ripe. Fresh. This is fresh in the minds.
I'm just saying, even with that, you still couldn't pay me to watch that crap.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Well, I didn't know about it. I didn't know the Oscars happened until I saw
Don't
that.
know, don't care.
When two Suzuki's in the top 10.
That was pretty good. Yeah, it's been too long since we got a nacho meme.
Not
about
Libre,
time.
dude.
That's so
Where are
good.
they finding these ones? People are finally
this one
paying
killed
for
me.
paying on the apps.
Star, baby. Dude, give Vince Freezy some credit, dude. Won the Heat.
Yeah.
He was looking good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, comment in the chat what your favorite meme is from this week. We'll get some competitions going again.
That was
for the next
Moran's
season,
when he
the next
saved it
round.
off that tough block to
Okay,
make it into the
we'll
main.
we'll
right?
do this. We'll do another jersey giveaway because shout out to Shane McElrath. He sent me 3
Recording
Dude,
stop.
signed
the
jerseys.
man.
We will
I hope he's back.
the week. So we're not going to have a show this Thursday. Don't forget that with the bye week. So we'll be back to you guys.
A
Are we
week from
gonna-
Thursday.
Are we? Yeah, a week from this Thursday. So we're
Yeah.
not doing Thursday or next Monday.
We'll be back to prep you for St.
But
Louis.
after St. Louis, so from that, after St. Louis, the Monday through the following Monday, we'll announce it. We'll talk about it next or not Thursday, but that's the plan. We'll do another meme contest for a McElrath signed jersey.
How
Down
do
for
I
that?
get one, dude? I want one of those.
Make a good meme and a fake account name, and then just give me a fake address. Don't do it. That's right, Sean65. Smash the like button. Well, anyway, is that all? Now are we good?
Yeah, it's a bittersweet, dude. I don't want to wait 2 weeks, but it is nice to have a week off. I mean, this season's been grueling for
Okay.
us, too.
Spring break.
Yeah. Remember to always go to the RMFantasy SX website to obviously make your picks, but check out the seasonal prizes, the weekly prizes.
What do
We've
we
a lot
got?
up
We
for
can go
grab.
over them real quick. Weekly prizes. Dude, they're huge. Shoei VFX Evo helmet for first place. 10 FMF t-shirts for second. Fast House jersey pants, gloves, and jersey Bridgestone tire set. FXR Clutch Pro combo. Jersey pant glove. Fox gear bags. LS2 Subverter Evo helmets. 100% Armega goggle hookup. Fly Racing Stay Fly casual package. A Cherubies $150 spending spree. $10 Rocky Mountain gift cards to the 11th through 100 places. So I saw a lot of people commenting in, telling us they won gift cards. Ajax, longtime part of the nation, won a gift card too. So if you're winning these prizes, make sure to send us a picture of you with the
Ajax
prize.
just asked, how do you get a weekly prize? Well, you just did it.
He's in 35th place this round, bro. You're going to be getting notified for that gift card soon.
All right.
So
Well, that being said, grand prizes. Obviously, we got the Race Prep KTM 450 and 250 two-stroke. We've got Dunlop tires for a year. $3,000 shopping spending spree to Rocky Mountain ATVMC. Alpine Stars casual and gear spending spree. That's a big one. Motion Pro tool and accessory package. 7th Fly Racing gear package. We're talking pant, jersey, helmet, boots, the whole caboodle. You got STASIC stability cycle and accessories. We got Milestone video games where you get a console, 4K TV, and the game. And then, of course, you got an Oakley spending spree.
Yep, and don't forget to give a shout to our social guy, Shane, who just killed it. Leading the Rocky Mountain group right now.
I know. He got 4 picks right.
Kicking our butts.
That's all right. Everyone, when it's your year, it's your year.
Striving and thriving.
That's how I justify my crappy years. Like, it's just not my year.
I thought I was going to mount a comeback, but I'm losing hope.
Ooh, good job, Clarence. Says he got the top 5 in order. That's
awesome,
a night
dude.
of points.
That's a prize right there.
All right. Well, remember, everyone, join us not this Thursday or next Monday, but the following Thursday. That's why you want to hit the notification in your calendar or on the fantasy.
Yeah, don't get
Can't
left
talk right now.
picking Sexton Like 38% of players did or whatever.
Well, it was hard because he didn't announce until like just before the night show, but even still, that's why you got to be on the notifications.
At worst, move him down your list or something.
All right. Well, look, thank you everyone who was tuning in today and tuning in throughout the year. We're going to miss you guys for a week, but don't worry. We'll be back at it. What are you seeing here?
RM Fantasy SX 316 says, get those picks in early for a chance at weekly prizes.
Oh, my
Jason.
gosh.
Oh, also, Lara Deshaw, she's in the chat. And she
Lara's
said
here?
she said she's sorry about Shane doing well because he just dethroned her. She's been leading for a while.
Our brand manager's wife.
Yeah, Lara D is sour.
If you're beating a wife, of any wife, you're doing good.
Okay. Well, there you go. There you have it.
I love it.
All right. Laura, you tell the girls that we say hello too. All right. With that being said, thank you to everyone who has been tuning in live. We've had a blast today. Thank you to Kristen Beat one more time for calling in. And we will see you guys here shortly in about a week and a half.
Do it for Dale. Woo!